Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We have a fine program tonight. Let me bring out my first guest. He describes himself as... Did we get the bird, by the way? Yeah. The bird has been secured? Okay. Has he really? Yeah. Okay.
I'm saying yeah.
Oh, they don't know, but for purposes of the show, they're saying yes, of course. My next guest tonight has described himself. He's described himself this way, as the worst disc jockey in radio. He has the afternoon drive time show here at WNBC AM, and for my money, this man represents state-of-the-art radio. Please welcome Howard Stern.
Nice to see you, sir. I loaded the place with my people.
No. This is good. These folks.
This crowd is. These are people who like me.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who hates me here? Yeah. Which who? There's all kinds of scum out there who hate me.
See, we were going to have them in sections, people who loved Howard and people who hated Howard, but they obviously all love you. Let me ask you about this. You describe yourself as the world's worst disc jockey.
Well, I'm not a good disc jockey. I'm not like the guys on FM who tell you the weather every 10 minutes. I mean, I'm kind of strange on the radio, and I'm not a good disc jockey. I don't play records, that kind of thing.
Well, now, why is that? Why don't you play the records?
Because I basically hate the music that NBC plays. The station was in the toilet bowl before I got there, and if I continued to play the music that they played, it would have been probably dead last in the ratings.
Now, what kind of music do they play and did they play?
You know, Boy George, which for my money, I can't deal with that. And they play Julio Iglesias and Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Did anybody actually buy that record? It's like number 5 or something. Oh, what a comatose audience. I've got to do well here tonight.
So you don't mess with playing the music.
If I do well, I'll be like Dodie Goodman, like on the Jack Parr show. I'll get to come on here every couple of weeks.
We're all pulling for you, Howard. We'd like to see you in that chair every couple of weeks.
I didn't know what to do because they gave me like a pre-interview and said David's real uptight, doesn't like you touching the back of his head like you did to Donahue. Oh, man. You did it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He's uptight. He's uptight about touching another man, but I think it's beautiful. I think you're a beautiful man.
Okay, I think we have one more bird trick. If we could just... Howard, tell folks who have don't have the benefit of living in this area to hear your show what they would hear. You don't play music, so what do you do?
Well, it's been described as honest radio. We talk to people on the phone. We're ourselves. Mm-hmm. It's like your show in the sense that you don't come on here with a lot of phony hype, and you don't. You have people on with pets, and then the bird gets lost. I mean, we let anything happen. You know what I mean?
You make a lot of phone calls?
Very loose. We make a lot of phone calls. We call people who write us hate mail. Like this hate mail. This is our hate mail. We have some here. Now, some of our hate mail.
Do you want to get to the hate mail now, or you want to hold this for...
Well, maybe we should hold it.
All right. Well, all right. We will do... Now, tell us about one of my favorite parts of the show is your dial-a-date.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, in order to get ratings in New York, you have to shock people. And I don't intentionally go out to shock... Well, okay, I do intentionally shock them because I know... If I don't, I won't have an audience. Mm-hmm. And we do a lesbian dial-a-date where we set up lesbians. I'm kind of like Jim Lang Jr. I like to think of myself as that. And just pack the show with lesbians. Something you ought to try. Lesbian dog trips. And there are lesbian dogs.
You just pack the show with lesbians.
Yeah, we pack the show with lesbians.
Okay.
It works, though. People like to see lesbians for some reason. I don't know. Like Donahue or any of the... When you were on in the morning, you didn't have any lesbians. You were just, Did you have lesbians?
I'm not sure.
No.
Are we close to it? All right. Well, quickly, Howard, mention how you opened the dial-a-date that I heard that one time.
No. You see, you're making me look bad. I said attention all homos, because I wanted. Not that I was calling I was calling homosexuals homos, and I wanted them to respond.
But you're well supported in the homosexual community.
The gay community loves me. I'm like their savior. I think I'm their spokesman.
Okay.
Because who else has homosexual dial-a-date?
Man right here.
Come on, can we have some homosexuals now? Come on down and we'll play.
We're going to go away for station identification. Think about it. Pack the show with lesbians. We'll be right back. Stern is here from WNBC. Later tonight, Valerie Bromfield will be joining us tomorrow. Willie Nelson, Fun with Nitrogen with Dr. Richard Brandt. This will be exciting.
I can't figure out why I'm on the show, though. It shocked me that you asked me on. But while I am on, I'd just like to say, because the show is coast to coast, if there are any other radio stations presently looking for talent, and they have, the right money, because I don't work for free.
No.
And if you enjoy what we do, I'd be interested in hearing any serious offers.
This is better than sending out tapes. That's very expensive.
Most disc jockeys have sent out tapes and resumes and this kind of thing, but I'm always looking for work because I don't think NBC is going to let this nonsense go on much longer.
Now, how long have you been on the air?
Here?
Yeah.
In New York for 2 years.
So I think you're going to be here a while.
No, I give it 6 months and then I'm fired. I think in 6 months I'll be off the air and I'll be at another station.
How many stations have you worked for?
I've worked for about 6, and I've been fired from a couple. All for no good reason. I mean, I've always, driven up the ratings and this kind of thing, but stations insist on firing me.
What was the most recent firing? Where was that?
In Washington.
And why were you fired?
Well, I was fired because I made fun of other disc jockeys. Which is that's tame, compared to lesbian dial-a-date.
Now, give me an example. Give me an example of a guy or a woman who was a disc jockey who you made fun of in Washington.
Well, I don't know. It's just that the radio today is so bland and so boring, and we get on and have fun. And I just started attacking every disc jockey who worked in the market. These guys who come on, and I don't know. They just talk about the weather and they play the records. I mean, that's not creative. So in any case, Los Angeles is a good place to work, or Chicago, anywhere in the Midwest. Although I don't go over in the Midwest that well. I didn't do too well in Detroit.
Yeah.
I was in Detroit. So it's
How long were you in Detroit?
It was the worst part of my life. I hate the people in Detroit. I hated working there. I think I'd be depressed if I lived there too. And most of Detroit is depressed.
But Howard, I think you have to agree. Maybe you don't. You know more about this than I do, but it seems to me like working an afternoon drive at WNBC, New York City, that's got to be the best job.
It's a good job, but what they did is I was so desperate to get here. My dream was to come to New York that I signed for very little money. And what I figure is they're pulling in about $5 million a year on my show, and I'm not making anywhere near that. And I'm not trying to say I'm money hungry, but I've worked this hard. Getting a job at NBC New York is harder than getting a job on a baseball team. So here I finally make it, and what they did, they're basically giving me the shaft because they're getting $300 a minute in advertising. I don't know what you make. I read you made like $1 million a year, and that's not all that much for a network guy. They have the most unbelievable, it's because you're so desperate to be, a star that you end up selling yourself out, which I think you did.
Really? All right, well, hell, if there's anybody looking in now from anywhere around the United States,
Yeah, but I did the same thing.
I can do weather, I can do movie reviews. I've done some
Ron
news.
Reagan Jr. does movie reviews. Boy, that's real entertainment. He's doing it on our radio station now. Ron Reagan doing it. He's very qualified because he's seen like 6 movies. His qualifications are high.
Oh, no, I know. Mention the other folks that work with you on your show.
Robin Quivers, who works with us. And 2 talented people, Fred Norris, Al Rosenberg, Judy DeAngelis, Janie LaCue, the cleaning. We have a slew of people. Yeah. It's kind of like gang radio.
It's very funny. Very funny and very innovating, and it's the kind of thing you have to listen to it. You find yourself not being able not to listen to it. That's worth money in the bank. I heard you describe yourself once as the Arthur Godfrey of the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, there's more truth there than
thanks.
That one person who applauded may know.
It's going to do wonders for my career being known as the Arthur Godfrey of the 80s.
But you know what I'm saying. In a certain regard, there's truth in that. Okay. Now, we're going to read some of these letters. Is that right, Howard?
This is hate mail. The station gets a lot of hate mail.
Okay, I'll just start out. We've kind of penciled in some of the stuff that's good. Dear Mr. Mulholland, well, he's not here.
Yeah, right.
Over the past several months, I have overheard various derogatory comments from a diversified segment of individuals concerning the absurdity of the subject show aired during the late afternoon weekdays. Well, so far, it doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well, basically, the people who write in, too, they listen all the time. They can cite every bit that we do.
I intentionally took time to listen to about 20 minutes of Howard Stern doing air checks on this date, and I find it literally impossible to express the effect it had upon me. Disgustingly filthy with absolutely no sense of morals is a simple description, but far too mild.
You see, that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand what we do.
Yeah.
If I can be serious.
Another satisfied listener.
Yeah.
Dear Mr.
McTheany.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He used to be our program director. He's
gone.
He's over,
also.
He's over at MTV ruining that. He tried to ruin me. He used to give me all kinds of directives.
Yeah.
He used to tell me to be quiet, get your bits done in 2.5 minutes. Like, I need a lot of time. I don't do things in 2.5 minutes.
Right.
Leave that to the old-time disc jockeys.
Yeah.
And, but actually, I don't want to say anything too bad about him, but he's over at MTV, and we've all seen MTV.
Now, do you work, is the show formatted like the old clock where at 12 minutes after you played an up-tempo whatever?
It's not typical radio, our show, for people who haven't heard it. It's just,
Do you get along well with the folks at WNBC, the management?
Oh, I hate them. I hate them because they hired me, and then as soon as I was there, the first couple of weeks I was there, they told me to change everything I do.
Yeah.
Which is total
Why did
nonsense.
they hire you?
They hired me because I had high ratings, but when I came in and started doing what I do, they told me to they told me to clean up my act.
Yeah, slicking it up.
Which is kind of
sense.
phony.
Okay.
They hired me because they wanted to make a lot of money.
We have one more. I found one here.
They get nervous when I talk like this, so.
This comes to just dear sir. Well, that person
good.
probably still here. I know of people who refuse to purchase a car containing only AM radio for the mere reason that they refuse to be subjected to the narrow mind of Howard Stern.
Yeah, I've ruined AM radio.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
Yeah. Now, do you ever talk to these people? You call them on the phone?
Yeah, we call them on the phone. We were going to do that today.
Yeah.
But we're not.
We don't have time.
We ran out.
Now, what happens when you...
Because they had the pets on. It was good.
Now, what happens when you confront the folks on the air with the letters like this?
And by the way, that was some dog, that Michael Jackson dog. I mean, all of his manliness was showing right on network television. Put me to shame. That's what kills me. Put me to shame.
You know, it's interesting.
My wife's going to watch that tonight and be jealous.
It's interesting that you would notice. Is what kind of puzzles me. The joke. Howard, so what are your plans well, I think you're going to be here a long time, but other things, other areas, what do you want to do besides...
Well, I just want to, I don't know, we'd like to do some television. Yeah. If we can get that. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know. It looks like we're going to have a pilot.
It's the first step.
That's the first step. We have a pilot, and then we have to find someone to show it. And, that's more difficult.
Well, I'm glad I know you're on the air right now, and I really appreciate you coming down here and spending...
Well, you going to have me on again?
I
want to be like a regular, like Marv Albert.
I think we can work it out. The cutting age...
I'll prepare stuff the next time I come on.
The cutting age of radio technology, ladies and gentlemen, Howard Stern. We'll be right back. Valerie Garfield. Paul. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the program. My first guest tonight is the afternoon drive time disc jockey on WNBC right here in New York City. Please welcome now America's most beloved radio personality, Howard Stern.
Hi, Howard.
Howard, thank you very much for being here. Nice to see you again.
This is the most uptight show I've ever been on.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, I don't. Who's the guy who produces the show? I had a great bit. I was going to come out here. Can I tell you about this?
Please do.
Did you know about this?
I don't know anything.
Well, I was going to come out here.
I just show up late and they put a suit on me and I come out.
I had gone out and gotten a dead horse that I was going to drag on and make it do a swale bit. And the producer, Barry, no, it wasn't offensive or anything. We're going to do a whole psychic thing where I drag out Swale, and you sit behind the desk, and then I try to figure out what killed Swale, and I do this autopsy on it.
Yeah?
And I start digging in, and then I open it up, and I find out Swale was killed by... And then, because there's two guys inside the horse.
Oh, I see.
So they said it was too offensive. They don't want horse jokes on.
Yeah, yeah.
So this will probably be my last appearance on here, because I'm not supposed to talk about horses.
But it was meant as a loving final tribute.
It was meant as a joke. a tribute to the horse.
Can I ask you a couple of questions about radio?
Sure.
You know, I admire you and the work you do and the fine station you work for. Don't you think it's one of the great radio stations in America?
No, no. I think this is I think the station I work for is an AM station. It's a station that's dying, and that's why they hired me to be so offensive and do swale jokes.
No, Howard.
No, it's true. Because it's an AM station, and nobody listens to AM anymore.
No, that's not true.
It's almost impossible to get people to listen to AM radio. There's so much static, you can't hear it. I mean, it's true. You listen to the music, there's static, and my voice is static, and nobody listens to music on AM anyway.
Now, let me ask you about, that's what I was going to ask you about. What's AM stereo? What is that?
That's a real joke. That's a goof. What it is it's twice as much stereo. And nobody has AM stereos in this country.
No, why would you want to buy an AM stereo receiver?
Well, you wouldn't. I mean, nobody wants it, but you get on, say, AM stereo, and there's a couple of people who are brain dead in our audience, and they buy the fact that we're an AM stereo, and they think they're listening to stereo when it's a mono signal. And so the whole station is a scam. And, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. I don't like it.
All right, now...
I don't like it. I don't think AM stereo... I think AM stereo is a joke. Does anybody actually think AM stereo is stereo?
Well, let me. Does anybody here own an AM stereo receiver? Yeah. And happy with the performance?
Would anybody like to see me drag out swale?
Well, see, that's interesting. We have about 300 people there. One person out of 300 has purchased an AM stereo receiver.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. Now, Howard, last time you were here, you wanted to talk a little bit about this. This is the July 1984 issue.
We Magazine.
We Magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm
in here with naked girls.
Oh, my.
And it's, well, it's a kind of thing where I did this with We Magazine. There's naked pictures of women in there. It's amazing what they do get away with and what they do.
Oh, here we go, yeah.
Disc jockeys in the country.
Yeah, you were at
There's
work.
a spanking scene. You can show some of these, can't you?
Yeah, I think we can show this series right here.
See, I'll do anything for ratings.
Now, you're there.
I know you wouldn't do something like this.
Now, this is you at work, isn't it?
No, this is they brought two models in, and I was just hugging up to them, and I talk really. I mean, there's a lot of obscene stuff in here, and NBC is very uptight about this.
Okay, well, let me get to that in a second. But tell me about your wife's reaction to this. You're married, right?
Yeah.
Lovely woman. How long have you been married?
Well, my wife and I have been married 6 years, and the fact of the matter is, I said to her, "Look, this is the way I make my living. This is economic security. If I can get in We Magazine and take pictures with naked girls," so she bought the whole concept. I mean, what are you going to do? So I'm in We Magazine.
Yeah.
It's a 5-page spread, and it's very sexist. It's very dirty. You know what I mean.
But the company is upset with things you said in the publication. Now, what did you say that upset
Well, I was
them?
real dirty in the publication. You see, I'm going to get fired for talking about this, I know.
But you don't care, do you?
No, I don't care that I'm going to be fired.
Now, if you get fired, what'll happen to you?
What'll happen is some other radio
things.
station will hire me and pay me a lot of money to say obscene things. They'll get uptight about it, and they'll fire me, and some other radio station will. It's like I'm constantly getting fired.
In fact, you just go around the country doing this and making a lot of money?
Yeah, well, it concerns me that I haven't been fired in the last 2 years. So NBC will fire me soon.
Okay,
but
now they were upset about what?
No, I talked I talked about my sex life in here, and I talked about, my circumcision. I talked about a lot of these things, and NBC says, well, you should have a clean image. But, I mean, like guys like Eddie Murphy worked for NBC, and they had a dirty, he had a dirty act, and that was
very
fine.
Successful.
Yeah,
sure.
that was okay.
Now,
So
what do they say when you bring that up to them?
Well, they say that's a rational argument. Nobody in NBC is rational. So, it's a...
There you go. Okay.
Hey, speaking of my...
wait a minute. Excuse me. You say whatever you want. We got to do a commercial first. And
okay, slow me down,
Howard's going to inflate the horse and drag it out. We'll be right back, folks. This young man, of course, is Howard Stern. There's an article in, this is a recent issue of the New York Post, I believe.
I think I look gay tonight. I lost so much weight, I look gay.
How much have you lost?
50 pounds.
No, I don't know. You look all right.
I look all right.
You look good to me, but what is...
Don't shoot me from this side, it's the nose.
All right, this was in last week's Post. Howard Stern's radio's insult jockey. Now, that's not fair to start with.
I'm not an insult jockey.
No.
I'm a disc. No, I'm not a disc jockey.
really
I guess I'm an
that
air
either.
personality.
An air personality.
You know, or God's gift to radio.
Yeah. Now, I've noticed on Friday you count down the top 20 hits in reverse order.
Yeah, I just want to say something. We're involved with a couple of things for radio. These countdown shows. Anybody listen to these countdown shows like Casey Kasem? Oh, there's the person who makes those long-distance requests to her boyfriend in the Army. This guy's got the greatest scam going in the world. This guy takes the 20 top records of the week and counts them up for you, you know, I mean, basically, and he makes you wait for 4 hours till he gets to the #1 record. I think it's kind of a scam, so we're working on a countdown show that's going to be heard, but except we're going to give you the #1 record right off the bat, right off the top.
Get that out of the way.
Yeah, none of that stuff. So we're working on it.
Now, I heard you say one time that you were going to get Casey's show bounced off WNBC.
Yeah, I was pushing for that for a long time, and basically he's off NBC now.
Yeah.
I don't like countdown shows. I don't like anything that's pre-taped or canned. I don't like any of that.
All right.
No, except this show. It's a great show.
Thank you.
This isn't the...
I think he means it.
No, the producer calls me up and says, what are you going to talk to David about? Don't do any swale jokes. Don't touch David. No. Don't... And the guy says, he asked me, what am I going to talk about? I said, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Have David ask questions. Well, David wants to ask you what's bothering you, and then you just, you just talk. I said, well, I mean, you guys get paid a lot of money. Why don't you just, write down some questions and, have David ask me some questions?
Well, I have one
here. The guys
here
who work here are so uncreative. What do you got?
I have one here. Now, back to the Post. This was in the Post now, it seems like 6-7 months ago.
I'm not like Fran Lebowitz. I don't like come out here and write things down. I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
Okay, now we do want to ask you this. Howard Stern, radio's insult jockey, is set for a pilot for late-night television to be submitted to NBC first. His manager is singer Steve Rossi.
Steve Rossi's our manager.
Now,
the guy from Marty Allen and Steve
Allen
Rossi.
and Rossi, Hello Dare, those guys?
Yeah, this guy is our manager. He got us a TV pilot. We're shooting it in August.
Yeah.
So we think we're going to be on TV.
Well, that's good.
All right. And Steve Rossi is this guy who, he's kind of the old school comedian. He's the guy, he kisses me on 6th Avenue, like when we're walking down the street. He's like the old type manager. We're walking down the street, he goes, I love you, babe. I love you. Like that. So I said, if you're going to manage me, man, you can't kiss. The guy's kissing me and grabs me up in his arms, man, and starts hugging me. And that's his, whole deal. But I really love the guy because he got us on TV. But I'm not going to kiss him on 6th Avenue.
And for you, that's good management. You don't mind that.
Well, it's Hollywood, I guess. I don't know. It's L.A. or something.
All right. Now, so August, you're taping a show.
Anything
else coming up in your career we ought to know about? What's Dial-A-Date?
Oh, yeah. Well, we do like the old dating game thing. I told you we do lesbian Dial-A-Date.
Right.
We had a Jamaican Dial-A-Date. I see all these commercials for the Bahamas and go to Jamaica. I'm not going, personally.
Yeah.
I think the Jamaicans hate white people like me. And I'm not going to go to their hotels and have them cut my legs off, so I'm staying home. So I invited a Jamaican guy to come on. I invited a Jamaican guy to come on to improve, relations in this country.
Yeah.
And I set him up with a white woman. And the Ku Klux Klan has contacted me. I'm sure they're after me at this point.
Well, Howard, you've got it's certainly a full plate tonight from Howard, wasn't it?
I never even got to Lorna Luft and Liza Minnelli.
Now, we're out of time, but please come back and finish up when Lorna and Liza.
I'm like a regular, I'm like Pee Wee Herman now.
Howard Stern, ladies and gentlemen. Nice job, Howard. Nice to see you. Stay right there. We'll be right back with Leon Russell. The current issue of People magazine calls my next guest New York's Mad Dog disc jockey. He can be heard on WNBC Radio weekday afternoons. Please welcome America's most beloved radio personality, Howard Stern. Hi, Howard. Nice to see you. Good. Come over here and sit down.
What do you think of these leather pants?
Those are nice.
Nice is my new image.
Those are nice pants.
You like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't live a lie, though. I did this. They put me up to it. My new image.
Nice to see you, Howard.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Congratulations. This is very impressive. 4 pages in People magazine about Howard Stern. This is terrific. What did you think of the article?
I like People magazine. I mean, it's good exposure for me, but I took issue with this. You see, it seems like everybody wants to take Jews and put them in devil's costumes. And I've posed for other magazines, and every time I pose for a magazine, they put this Jew in a devil's costume, and I noticed some guy in the Midwest gets it and says, "You see, there are Jews with horns, and that's that." So I had an argument with People magazine for about an hour.
Well, you didn't have to put on the devil's costume.
Oh, yeah, I did. They told me they cut short the article if I didn't do it. And since I'm, I wanted the publicity, I did it. So I'll compromise my career for anything.
Is there anything else in there that you're happy or unhappy about the article?
No, everything's nice.
By the way, you have a lovely wife and a nice-looking young girl.
Yeah.
She's a very sweet-looking kid.
Well, be careful when you say that. It's not. I have a wife and a daughter, not a young girl.
Oh, that's right. Your daughter. That's right.
But hey, Tony Danza is a great guy. I was just back there. It's the first time I met him, and he's going to do like a smokeout commercial with me or something. We're discussing ways to help people back there for 250 hours of public service. It's beautiful. I think that was the proper sentence. Punch a guy in the face, 250 hours.
Now, do you want to cover any more in here? Or
no.
Did you get offers? This is a national publication.
Nobody's calling me. What I'm thinking is that now that I'm in People magazine, I'm on Letterman, I'm waiting for Johnny. I like doing this show, but let's face it, I'm on at 1:30 in the morning on this show. If I could get a shot on Carson, David, just once, I think that, I think it's time.
Did they call or anything?
No, nobody called. Nobody called from Carson. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Well, I have no control over that, you know. But keep plugging by all means.
Yeah.
Now, you must be the happiest guy in the world. Everything all right? You work for a great radio station?
Yeah,
you're getting plenty of publicity?
I'm looking forward to the debates.
You're getting, the debates, okay.
The debates. I loved the last one with Bush and Ferraro. That was really good. And Bush's wife is excellent looking. I can't understand something. I looked at Bush, and Bush is a nice-looking guy. He's a very nice-looking guy, and I wonder...
Well, as vice presidents go, he's a nice-looking guy.
Yeah, he's a nice-looking guy. I mean, he's a decent-looking man in terms of political life. And then I see his wife. It looks like his grandmother. And, oh, come on. No, seriously. I mean, I've been married to the same woman for 10 years, and I have trouble getting excited. I mean, she's a nice-looking woman. You see in People magazine. I mean, it's the same woman. No, seriously. It's hard to get excited over this.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now, if you were out somewhere...
Would you kiss your mother with your mouth... I mean, your grandmother with your mouth open? I mean, it's... how does he get worked up over Barbara Bush?
I don't know.
I couldn't get worked up.
No. But now how does your wife feel about you saying this? Now, say you two were out in public and your wife walked up to somebody, a mutual acquaintance, or somebody says, "It's been 10 years with Howard. I don't know. He just doesn't excite me anymore."
No, I'll be honest with you. You know, you think when you get married that you're going to have sex 3-4 times a week. And I know I read in an article you're thinking of getting married, but I'm going to tell you something. At first, you have sex 3 or 4 times a week, and then it's down to 2, and now maybe once a week I get it. And I'll be honest with you. I don't rely just on my wife. I don't have affairs or anything, but I have to. I buy men's magazines and stuff like that. It doesn't stop. And you guys are lying if you say it never stops. I mean, even if you're married, you still have to kind of take care of your own needs.
Maybe it's the devil suit.
Yeah.
Well, now, Howard, but how's the job?
My job, NBC Radio. It's worse than ever. I'm going through contract negotiations right now.
Your contract is up.
My contract is being renegotiated.
Renegotiated. Well, I
asked for $500,000.
Well, I think you deserve it. Easily deserve it.
Yeah, but they're paying me under $200,000. A lot of people are saying, well, hey, what does he deserve? You know, $200,000 sounds like a lot of money. But the thing is, the station bills $5 million a year off of me, and I'm getting a small cut of the action. And what I was going to do is I was going to come on here tonight and play portions of my radio show, but the stupid NBC censors won't let me do it because they think the word orgasm is not proper for television. And that's what we're dealing with.
All right, we have to do a commercial, Howard.
Orgasm.
Then we'll be right back. We'll be right back. says here in the article, I want to make it...
Every time I plan something to do on this show, the NBC censors say I can't do it. Dr. Ruth can say orgasm on this show 300 times, and when I say it, for some reason, I can't, I can't do it.
Now, Howard saying orgasm, will that stay in this show? Well, how about me?
not?
When I say it, will it stay in? Oh, please. Oh, please. Good Lord, I'm sorry you had to witness
everybody
that.
has orgasms except for the Pope. I don't see why you can't say it on TV. I never understood that.
Well, let me read this quote. I'll never be able to find the quote, but
Can we get back to my contract?
Oh, yeah, let's get back to the contract. Now, have you had offers from other stations?
I've had other stations offer me money.
Where would you rather work? You don't care. Money is it, right?
Money is it. I'll work anywhere, anytime, as long as I can do my act, and a station's willing to pay me $500,000.
Now, aside from the money you're getting at WNBC, do you get along well with the management? Do they like you? Are they supportive?
No, they just brought in a new guy from San Francisco who doesn't know what he's doing, a new general manager, a new boss, and I don't know, I'm having difficulty with management. They're being nice to me right now, and I'm not sure what's going on. I don't trust them. I'm sure there's a bomb that's going to drop pretty soon.
Yeah.
So, if anybody wants to make us a generous money offer, $500,000, we would gladly take the show to your radio station. And we got many funny bits, orgasm bits.
You know what I liked? I heard about your tour. You're having a tour.
That's another thing I'd like to discuss. Because we can't get the money we want, we're having our own studio tour. For $4.25, you get to come up to the station, watch me, do my radio show. We serve meals. What we do is we get the commissary food. And the hot dogs
Catered
up there.
in?
Yeah, well, the hot dogs up there are about $1.25, and we charge the people $3, $4.
Well, that's good. I don't know. It looks like things are going great for you. You're going to get the contract. They can't afford to lose you. You're too valuable to this operation.
I'm so valuable.
Films? You want to do film work?
Want to do film work? I'm going to Carl Lewis Acting School.
Well, I noticed.
He's terrific. I could see him in Gandhi, too. He's excellent.
Okay, we have to do one more commercial, and then we'll be back with Howard here. Now, I know we're getting very late on time, but you actually had naked women in your control room.
Recently on the radio show, we had naked women on the show.
How long ago?
This was last week, and we had every NBC lawyer down there trying to... You see, every NBC lawyer wanted to see the naked women, and then when I wouldn't let them in the studio, they told me, never do this again.
All right, well, good luck, Howard. Thank you for being here. Come back anytime you want.
I'd like to come on again and pierce my ear.
All right, we'll look forward to that. We'll get that in TV Guide if we can. Good night, folks. Let's go to the phone now. These are going to be calls here on the NBC. Actual calls, right? All right, let's line one. All right. Now, if this doesn't work, it'll work. It'll be just great. This is actually our way of staying in touch with the public. Line one. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, who is this?
Hi, this is Jean. Who's this?
My name is Dave. Gene, where are you calling from?
Connecticut.
Gene, I'm going to have to ask you to turn your radio down.
I don't have a radio on.
Okay, good. Gene, what can I do for you?
Well, to be perfectly frank, I was trying to get hold of Howard Stern.
And what did you want to talk to Howard Stern about?
He's going to have a party at your house and broadcast from your house, and I was trying to get hold of him.
Yeah. Now, he's not having a party at my house.
Well, I was trying to get him to have it at mine.
Oh, you would like Howard Stern to come to your house for a party?
And they told me just to, that maybe you could help me out to get connected with Howard.
Yeah, I think we can work something out. Gene, what's in it for me if I put you through to Howard?
Well, I have a lot of real pretty girlfriends. I mean, you know, if you're interested in... Come to the party. How's that?
Ma'am, there are laws in this state. You can't,
I have real pretty girlfriends. And you'd really like... And I'll invite you over to Howard's party here at my house.
Now, wait a minute, Gene. How old are you?
Older than 18. Older than 21.
So you've apparently been taken in for questioning before.
Not that I can recall.
I tell you what, Gene, let me put you on hold here. We'll get right back to you.
Okay.
Okay. Gene, good Lord. See, Howard Stern has a very popular, very peculiar radio show here in the afternoon at NBC, and folks call in and invite him to a party with young girls. That doesn't happen much here, though, does it, Paul?
Where are you calling from?
I don't know, Connecticut or something.
Connecticut?
Yeah, see if you can't trace that call. Now, so this is Gene holding right here. Now, can I take another line? Yes. Okay, this is the complaint line, question line, NBC switchboard. Hello?